Alright, so I thought of one thing that you might want some help with, and that's creating the vaulted ceilings for the master bedroom and the living space on this final project. The ceilings work a lot like floors, and they work a lot like roofs. So we create the components of the ceiling, and we apply those. The differences between floors and ceilings is that we're going to put the ceilings to the outside of the stud frame instead of the inside, like we did the floors. So the first thing we want to do is I've got some walls on my floor plan here, and I'm going to create a cathedral ceiling in this one room. So I go to my architecture ribbon and I select my ceiling tool. And if you haven't already done so, you can create the ceiling. You can use the edit type and duplicate and adjust the structure of the ceiling. So in this case, we've got 1/2 inch drywall on a 2x6 ceiling joist. So the 2x6 is actually 5.5 inches thick. So there we've defined the components of the ceiling, and now we're ready to move on into the applying the ceiling. So we've got the ceiling defined, and I'm going to use the sketch ceiling tools. This brings up our sketch tools. From our sketch tools, I'm going to use the pick lines. I'm going to make sure my lock is turned on. I'm going to zoom in, and I may have to press the tab key to actually get that outside of the stud to highlight. So I'm going to select these 3 lines on the outside of the stud. And I'm not going to place the 4th one in because I can only apply a slope to one side of a ceiling. So fortunately I can't do the ceiling in one big rectangle. It's going to have to be 2. So I'm going to use the draw line on my sketch tools and go from the midpoint of that line to the midpoint of this line. And I'm going to use my corner tool to create a rectangle that covers half of the ceiling that I want to create. Now if I just leave it like this is going to create a flat ceiling. So I'm going to pick my select tool, and I'm going to select this edge over on the far side, and I'm going to apply or define a slope with that edge. Now the slope amount that I'm going to apply is going to be 6 to 12, and I think that's going to be a good number for this project. Pretty good starting place for most of your cathedral ceilings on the inside of houses. Some of your larger, more elaborate houses might be a little bit larger, but 612 is a good starting spot. So I'm going to hit the check mark, and I've created a ceiling. I can go to the 3D view to kind of take a look, make sure it's in the right spot. And you can see it's not setting on top of the wall, so I'm going to make sure and adjust that. So I pick on the ceiling, and it's level, from level 1 it goes up, and level 2 starts at 10 feet. So I just adjust this to 10 feet. And the ceiling will go up to the top of my walls. Look straight in from the top view, and to get this other half of the ceiling, I'm simply going to pick on my modify ribbon, mirror and pick, or mirror draw axis. I select my ceiling, right click to finish, and then I use the endpoints of the existing ceiling, and now I've got my cathedral ceiling in place. If I go back into my floor plan, if I want to see that in my floor plan view, I'm going to edit the properties of the floor plan to show an overlay, or actually an underlay. The underlay property is going to be level 2, and I can actually see that. Yours probably won't be hidden lines. You can right click and override graphics by category, projection lines, make those hidden lines. And that will be fine. You want to see a hidden line in your floor plan. Another thing that you may want to do is go to the annotate ribbon and create a detail line of a hidden line type where the cathedral ceiling is. In that case, you can turn off the underlay if you would prefer. So either one of those are perfectly fine methods to display the hidden line that represents the vaulted ceiling. We also want to create a section view through that vaulted ceiling. So I can create the section view that passes through that. Typically your section view head will be outside of the structure. If we look at our new section view, we can see there's our new ceiling components. We can set our fine detail, and we can go to annotate and add our spot slope. triangular. 612. So we can add our spot slope to both sides. You may want to use some detail lines to show how these connect to the existing roof once you get your roof in place. Use the drawings I left behind as examples to show you how to create the constructions to extend beyond and go on and connect into the roof. So those drawings will help you out a lot to create those section views the correct way. But that's how we want to create a vaulted ceiling. And if you have any questions, please give me an email. Send me an email and I'll try to help you out. Thanks.